Welcome to the mathematics and statistics, that is quantitative aptitude class. Today I am introducing a new concept known as theoretical distribution. Theoretical distribution. Theoretical distribution. Look at this, sir. Permutations and combinations. Probability distributions, or you can say theoretical distributions. Theoretical distributions. Total 12 to 14 questions you will get from these three units. 12 to 14 questions you will get from this one. So these three are one set. When you are doing practice, permutations and combinations first you do, then go for probability, then do probability distributions. Always, every time when you are revising, this is the sequence you have to follow. Now what is meant by theoretical distributions? For that, let us see. When a coin is tossed 3 times, when a coin is tossed 3 times, total number of cases, how many we will get? Total number of cases is equal to 2 power 3, 8 cases we will get. So I can write the sample space. Suppose when I extend the same question this way, when a coin is tossed 10 times, total number of cases is equal to 2 power 10. Total number of cases is equal to 2 power 10. So 1024. How many cases we will get? 2 to the power of 10 means 1024 cases we will get. And it is not possible for us to write 1024 cases on paper. Therefore, what will I do? In this particular case, instead of using the probability concept, I'll go for probability distributions. So, theoretical distributions or probability distributions are what? There are also some techniques available in statistics to calculate the probability. When order of appearance is not important, and we are concerned about the happening of an event or not happening of an event, mathematically under certain assumptions, when I go for calculations, then that is called theoretical distribution. Look at this point one more time. There are certain areas where probability cannot be applied. In that particular case, what will I do? Under certain assumptions, mathematically, when I do some calculations to get the probabilities, then that is called theoretical distributions. Here I am using probability mass function and a probability density function. Okay, those things I am going to introduce here in theoretical distributions. Look at the definition. Theoretical distributions. Theoretical distributions are those distributions in which probabilities can be calculated mathematically under certain assumptions, mathematically under certain assumptions, mathematically under certain assumptions. That is the definition of theoretical distributions. Second point, theoretical distributions. Theoretical distributions are of two types. Theoretical distributions are of two types. First one is discrete distributions. Example, binomial and Poisson. Binomial and Poisson distributions. Binomial and Poisson distributions. Second one, continuous distributions. Continuous distributions. Example, normal distribution. Normal distribution. So theoretical distributions, or you can say probability distributions, are of two types. First one is discrete probability distribution. Second one is continuous probability distribution. Now what is meant by discrete probability distribution? When the variable assumes only whole numbers within a specified value, then it is called a discrete distribution. Or you can say the variable is called a discrete variable. For example, number of students in a class. Number of students in a class. There may be 10 students, there may be 20 students, there may not be any student in the class. But we will never say there are 10.3 students in the classroom. It means when I am representing number of students in a classroom, then I am using a whole number. Okay, number of print mistakes per page, another example. Another example is number of print mistakes. There may be no mistake at all, there may be one mistake or two mistakes or three mistakes this way. Let us see one more example, number of road accidents per day. Here also the variable is assuming only whole numbers. So finally, how can I define a discrete variable? When the variable assumes only whole numbers, when the variable assumes only whole numbers within a specified range, then it is called a discrete variable. On the other hand, when the variable assumes whole numbers as well as fractional values, when the variable assumes whole numbers as well as fractional values, then it is called a continuous variable. Then it is called a continuous variable. For example, height of a student. Height can be expressed as a whole number and a fractional values also. For example, 5 feet, 5.6 feet, 5.7, 5.10, this one. Age. Age is a continuous variable. You can say 18 years 4 months, 18 years 7 months, 18 years 10 months. Weight. Weight is also a continuous variable. It can be expressed as a whole number as well as fractional value. This way, when the variable assumes whole numbers as well as fractional values, then you can say it is a continuous variable. So here I have discrete probability distributions in which the variable assumes only whole numbers. Second one is continuous probability distributions in which the variable is assuming whole numbers as well as fractional values. Let us see here. First one, binomial distribution. Binomial distribution. Binomial means two terms are involved here. So the distribution which contains two terms. One is happening of an event, the other one is not happening of an event. So before actually entering into the practical part of binomial distribution, it has some properties which you have to remember, because theoretical questions also you will get from this chapter. First point is the experiment is repeated. The experiment is repeated for a fixed and a finite number of terms. Finite number of times. The experiment is repeated for a fixed and a finite number of times. For example, when I want to toss a coin, I will decide how many times I have to toss. 10 times, 12 times. Look at this, another real life example. When a cricket match series is going on, how many one-day internationals will be played between the two countries? That is pre-decided. 5 ODIs or 6 ODIs or 3 ODIs this way. Here the variable is taking whole numbers only, and they are finite and fixed before the team arrives in India, that is the schedule is fixed. Second one, all the trials are independent. All the trials are independent. What does it mean actually? The outcome of first experiment has no influence on the outcome of the second one. That is what all the trials are independent. Third one, the outcome of each experiment. The outcome of each experiment is classified into two categories called success, that is happening of an event, called success, and failure, not happening of an event. Not happening of an event. Look at this. The outcome of each experiment is classified into two categories called success, which is called happening of an event, and failure, not happening of an event. Next point, the probability constant of success is denoted by P, and that of failure is denoted by Q. The probability constant of success is denoted by P, and that of failure is denoted by Q, and that of failure is denoted by Q. Next point, the probability mass function. The probability mass function is denoted by P of x is equal to R. This is MCR, P to the power of R into Q to the power n minus R. where R is taking the values up to n, where R is taking the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. n. Okay, note down this. I'll give you some time, then I'll move to the other points. Now, look at this here. What is meant by probability mass function? What is meant by probability mass function? It is an expression. It is an expression which is used to calculate the probabilities in binomial distribution. Again, I am repeating this point. Probability mass function is an expression which is used to calculate the probabilities in binomial distribution. In binomial distribution. Okay. Now, probability mass function is associated only for discrete variables, not for continuous variables. This point also I'll write later on. Look at this, one more important point to keep in your mind. Here R is a variable. N will represent the number of times you are repeating the experiment. Here N is equal to number of times you are repeating the experiment. R is a variable. P is probability of success, Q is probability of failure. Here R is taking the values from 0 to n. All are whole numbers only. So the same point I am writing. Since R is assuming only whole numbers, R is assuming only whole numbers from 0 to n, comma, BD, binomial distribution, short form. Binomial distribution is a discrete, probability distribution. Binomial distribution is a discrete probability distribution. Next point. For a binomial distribution, mean is NP. For a binomial distribution, mean is equal to NP. Variance is NPQ. Next point. For a binomial distribution, mean is always greater than variance. For a binomial distribution, mean is always greater than variance. Next point. Binomial distribution is a biparametric distribution. Binomial distribution is a biparametric distribution. And the two parameters are and the two parameters are n comma p. The two parameters are n comma p. What does it mean actually? All your calculations in a binomial distribution are dependent on two values. Again, I am repeating this point. All your calculations in a binomial distribution are dependent on the values of n comma p. When I know these two values, anything, let it be, we can calculate in the given question using binomial distribution. So it is called a biparametric distribution. Binomial distribution is symmetrical. Right now you remember, sir. I'll explain what is meant by symmetrical in normal distribution. That is after Poisson. This point will come. That time again I'll take up. Binomial distribution is symmetrical when P is equal to Q is equal to 1 by 2. Positively skewed when P is less than half. Negatively skewed when P is greater than 1 by 2. Binomial distribution is symmetrical when P is equal to Q is equal to 1 by 2. Positively skewed when P is less than 1 by 2. Negatively skewed when P is greater than 1 by 2. Theoretical question. So remember this. Okay. Note down these points also. Next, most important point for a discussion is mode. Mode of a binomial distribution. What does it mean actually? What is meant by mode? Here, for this binomial probability distribution, or you can say binomial probability distribution, for what value of R probability is maximum? Again, I am repeating this point. What is meant by mode? In case of binomial probability distribution, means for what value of R, variable R, probability is maximum, is called mode of the binomial distribution. Binomial distribution may be unimodal or bimodal. Binomial distribution may be unimodal or bimodal. It means there is only one value at which probability is maximum. There may be two values for which probability is maximum. So unimodal means there is only one value of R at which probability is maximum. Bimodal means there may be two values of R for which probability is maximum. How to identify that? Binomial distribution may be unimodal or bimodal depending on the value of n plus 1 into p. Binomial distribution may be unimodal or bimodal depending on the value of n plus 1 into p. When n plus 1 into p is equal to k, an integer. When n plus 1 into p is equal to k, an integer, It is a bimodal distribution. It is a bimodal distribution, and the two modal values are k minus 1 comma k. The two modal values are k minus 1 comma k. Let us see what is the meaning of this. For example, n is equal to 9, p is equal to 0.7. It is given n is equal to 9, p is equal to 0.7. n plus 1 into p, n into 0.7, so 7. 7 is a whole number. So when r is equal to 6 or r is equal to 7, r is a variable assuming different values. So for r is equal to 6 and for r is equal to 7, the distribution is having maximum probability. When r is equal to 6 and r is equal to 7, the distribution is having maximum probability. Let us see the second case, case 2. When n is equal to 8, p is equal to 0.8. So n plus 1 into p, 9 into 0.8, it is 7.2. It is 7.2, but it is not an integer, means it is not a whole number. Now, integral part is 7. I am separating the integral part, leaving fractional part. Forget about the fractional part. 7. Okay? Which is mode. N plus 1 into p is equal to 9 into 0.8. This is 7.2, which is not an integer. Then what will I do in this particular case? I will separate the integral part. Integral part is whole number 7, which is mode. The distribution is unimodal. There is only one value at which probability is maximum. So these are the theoretical points, you can say important points about binomial distribution. Those who are having maths background at intermediate level, this chapter you studied in probability, so this is not new to you. But those who are having without maths background, CEC students, first time you are learning this particular chapter, therefore follow the theory properly. Then I will do the maximum number of questions so that this chapter will be very clear to you and you feel you are very comfortable. But if you are feeling you are very comfortable in this chapter. Okay, note down this, sir. Now look at the application part of this. This is ICA material. Page number 17.43, set B. Set B. Set A is theory questions. You have to go through the points which I am writing, understand them, and answer set A from your side. If you have any doubt, that I will consider. Now, the problems of binomial distribution or Poisson distribution or normal distribution are classified into two categories. First type problems are all which are dependent on parameters. Second one, which are dependent on probability mass function. Okay, what does it mean actually? Let us see this question. Question number 2, first I am doing. X is a binomial variable. X is a binomial variable with n is equal to 20. What is the mean? If it is known that X is symmetric, X is symmetric. Okay, this is my question. Have a look on the question. N value is given. How many times we are repeating the experiment? 20 times I am repeating this experiment. Fine. Second thing is mean I have to calculate. Fine, no problem. Not only mean, we can calculate mode as well as variance also. To do any type of calculations using binomial distribution, we need two values. One is the value of n, the other one is p value, because these two are called parameters of the binomial distribution. N is equal to 20 given, p is equal to half. How can I take half without any information? Look at the question, sir. It is given. It is symmetric. Look at the theoretical points. What I dictated, binomial distribution is symmetrical when p is equal to q is equal to 1 by 2. So I can use that point here. X is a symmetric means you have to take p value half. So mean is equal to np 20 into 1 by 2, 10. Mean is equal to 10. Look at this variance, NPQ. Variance is NPQ 20 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. So 4 will go 5 times in 20, variance is 5. Mean is equal to 10, variance is equal to 5. Look at this. One more theoretical point I dictated. For a binomial distribution, mean is always greater than variance. Mean is 10 and variance is 5. Third one, mode is equal to n plus 1 into p. 20 plus 1 into 1 by 2. 21 into 1 by 2, 10.5. 10.5 is not an integer, it is not a whole number. So the distribution is unimodal. The distribution is unimodal. Mode is equal to integral part of n plus 1 into p. This is 10.5 is this one, integral part is 10. Integral part is 10. Mode is equal to integral part of n plus 1 into p. N plus 1 into p is 10.5. In this integral part is 10. Even though only one value, mean, is asked in the question, these two additional problems are for practice. Okay, note down. Look at the question number 3. X is a binomial variable with parameters n comma b. When it is written in this manner, how to read it? X is a binomial variable with parameters n comma b. Find maximum variance of x when n is equal to 16. N is equal to 16. Okay, you have to calculate maximum variance. Very simple, one line answer. Maximum variance, how can we calculate? N by 4. Remember this, it is not mentioned by me by mistake. Maximum variance is equal to n by 4. So this is 16 by 4. This is 16 by 4. How many times it will go? 4 times it will go. Maximum variance for this distribution is 4. Question number 4. If x is a binomial variable, if x is a binomial variable, if x is a binomial variable with the parameters 15 and 1 by 3, 15 and 1 by 3, find mode of the distribution, mode of the distribution. This is my next question. Now look at this, sir. What values are given? Parameters are given. What are the parameters of binomial distribution? N and P. N and P are the parameters. So see the solution part of this. Given N is equal to 15, P is equal to 1 by 3. N is equal to 15, P is equal to 1 by 3. He is asking to find out mode. Just for practice, let us calculate mean, variance and mode. First one, mean is equal to NP. So this is 15 into 1 by 3, 5. In 15, 3 will go 3 times. Variance is equal to NP cube. 15 into 1 by 3 into 2 by 3. So this is 30 divided by 9. 30 divided by 9. 30 divided by 9. 3.33. It is 3.33. Now variance is less than mean. So the data is correct. Let us go third one, mode of the distribution. Mode is equal to n plus 1 into p. 15 plus 1 into 1 by 3. 16 into 1 by 3. 16 into 1 by 3. 16 divided by 3. 5.33. 5.33. 5.33 is not a whole number. 5.33 is not a whole number. Therefore, unimodal distribution. The distribution is unimodal. The distribution is unimodal. and mode is equal to integral part of n plus 1 into p. This is fine. Mode is equal to integral part of n plus 1 into p. That is fine. Okay, sir. Note down the solution.